Hi everyone, welcome to class. We're going to start at the back of our mat with our feet hip distance apart. Take a few inhales in, roll your shoulders, and then reach your arms behind you, clasping your hands together, squeezing your palms as you lower down. Keep actively reaching your arms out in front of you, and then take a little twist from side to side, from left to right. It should feel really nice opening up your shoulders, but be gentle. Take one more stretch forward and then release your hands down towards your mat. Hold on to opposite elbows and gently sway from side to side. You can have a slight bend in your knees, or if you have more flexibility in your hamstrings, you can have straight legs as you let it all hang out. Your hands touch the mat and you walk yourself forward, coming into your downward facing dog. We're going to lift one heel off the mat at a time. So in your own time, take your dog for a walk. Again, your fingers are spread wide on the mat. You're closing the gap between your chest and your thighs. And you're going to inhale, come up onto your tippy toes and roll yourself forward into your high plank. And slowly with control, lower down, taking your Chaturanga Dandasana, and then pushing up into upward facing dog. Your thighs are off the mat, your chest is open, shoulders are back. And then send those hips back to the sky into your downward facing dog. We're going to come up onto our toes again, and we're going to walk our feet to the top of the mat. You're going to lift, stretch your back, and then reach your arms up and sit back into chair. Knees together, feet together, squeezing everything to your midline, and then lifting up your left leg and stepping back into your high lunge. Be mindful of your right knee over your ankle, shoulders away from ears. And then reach your arms forward, placing them on the mat. Reach your right arm up to the sky for a twist. And then release it back. Come into your high lunge with your arms raised. And then your left foot steps to meet your right. Sit back into your chair. See if you can sink a little lower and then step that right foot back into your high lunge. Nice, strong, active legs. Your back leg is straight as you reach your hands forward, and then sending that left arm up and behind. Taking that nice twist. See if you can sink a little bit lower, and then come back up into your high lunge, and then step your right foot to meet your left, sink back into your chair pose. Your thighs should be all fired up by now. Step back with your left, high lunge. Place your hands on the outside of your right foot, and then straighten your legs. So we're taking a triangle stretch, and then we're flowing back into our high lunge, stepping our left foot to meet our right, sinking into chair, stepping back with our right foot, high lunge, reaching our arms forward, and then straightening our front leg. Take a few breaths here, and then bend your knees, back up to high lunge, right foot to meet the left, sink in to chair. Slowly release, straightening your legs, taking a forward fold, forehead to knees. This should feel really good, and release your legs. Sit back into your chair pose. Arms out straight in front. Come back into your high lunge with your left foot back, sink down, and then come into a low lunge with your right foot forward. We're taking a side stretch, so your right arm is reaching across. You're going to release. Left arm reaching across. This should feel really nice on your left side body. Release it down. And then we're taking a half split. Our right foot is flexed. Nice straight front leg. And then lower back down. You're going to reach around grab onto your back leg, closing the gap between your left heel. So your left heel is aiming to touch your glute, and then gently release. Come back into your high lunge, and then your left foot is going to meet your right. You're going to step back with your right foot, high lunge, and slowly with control, lower that right knee down onto the mat. Place your right arm down, reaching your left arm over, side stretch. See if you can sink a little bit lower into your low lunge. And then your right arm over cross, keeping your arms straight at all times. Release that arm back, push your hips back, and then your left leg is straight for a half split. Flexed front foot. A few breaths here. Then we're going to reach around, grab onto the top of our right foot, and with the strength of your arm, guide that heel towards your glute. So nice deep stretch here. And slowly release, come back into your high lunge. Step your right foot to meet your left, and then release, forward fold. Halfway lift, and then step back to your high plank, chaturanga, into upward facing dog, thighs off the mat, open your chest, and then push up, hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. And we're going to send our right leg up to the sky, and then tuck your knee into your chest, and then tap your right knee to your right elbow and hold. So here we're firing up our core. Send your leg back up, three-legged dog. This time, right knee to left elbow twist. Slowly with control, send that leg back up to the sky, and then bring your knee into your chest, and you're going to step it forward. Taking your high lunge again, nice strong legs, your back legs straight, cactus your arms, slight back bend, look up towards the ceiling. So you're working on your balance. Come back up, place your hands onto the mat, send that right leg back up to the sky, right foot meets the left. Other side. Left leg up, three-legged dog, left knee to left elbow and hold. Nice strong core. We're going to flow. Send that left leg back up and then curl it in. Twist so that your knee taps your right elbow. Hold. Send that left leg back up to the sky. Nice straight leg. Then tuck your knee to your chest. And with control, step your foot in between your hands. Come up into your high lunge. Cactus those arms. You know where we're going. Slight back bend. Look up. Working on your balance. Then hands onto the mat. Step through, three-legged dog. Left foot meets your right. Take a moment here to take a few breaths. Then come up onto your tippy toes and walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, forehead to knees. Then we're going to come back up. Take a slight back bend, hands to heart center. You're going to step your left foot back and take a wide pose. Reach your arms behind you, clasp your hands, palms touching, open your chest. Inhale, and then slowly lower down. Keep actively reaching your hands out in front of you. Your feet are grounded, your legs are straight, you're sending your tailbone to the sky. You're going to release your hands down. Then send one arm up behind. Nice twist. Your gaze should follow your hands. One more time on each side. Nice straight arms, straight legs. And last one. You're going to release down, Place your hands on your hips for balance and slowly come back up to standing. We're going to come to the back of our mat. Slowly curl down, forward fold. Start walking your hands out in front of you. And then bend your knees so you're almost in a tabletop, but your knees aren't touching the mat. You're hovering 1 inch above your mat, really firing up your core. Keep breathing, keep holding, and then send your hips back, straight arms to release. Come back again, hover over your mat, firing up that core for 3, 2, 1. We're releasing our knees down. And we're going to take a push-up. So send your left leg behind you, and then with chaturanga arms, lower down, chin to mat, and then push away, and then with your tucked leg, straighten that leg. 3-legged dog, then place your knee back on to the mat, and take this flow. Knee to mat, chest to mat. So you're firing up your left glute. You're working on your core, you're working on your arm strength. Keep that left leg lifted, nice and straight. Your glute should be burning as you lower down with control. Place your left knee down. We're going to take a little cat-cow. So just take it in your own time, dropping your belly, sending your tailbone up, look up, and then releasing. Nice curve back, looking towards your navel. Drop your belly, look up. And then last time, curving your back. Come back to neutral. Raise your right arm up and thread it under your left. Left arm is straight, goes up. Keep actively pushing your left arm behind you. You should feel this deeply in your shoulders. It should feel really nice on your back. Slowly release and take it on the other side. So set yourself up. Inhale in, reach your left arm up, then thread the needle underneath your right. Then reaching your right arm up to the sky and actively aiming it towards the ground behind you. A few more breaths here. And then we're going to release. Come back into tabletop, and then send that right leg straight out behind you. Take that push-up so you're lowering down, chin to mat, legs straight, 3-legged dog. Take your push-up, and keep reminding yourself to keep that right leg straight and active. So there's a lot going on here. We're flowing from push-up into 3-legged dog. Only a few more to go. You guys are doing a great job. This is my new favorite flow for building arm strength, core strength, and working on our glutes. So take a moment here just to stretch it out, and then we're going to come into Malasana. So take a wide stance. Drop your bottom down as you push your elbows against the inside of your knees or in your thighs to really open up. Just rock from side to side, nice straight back. And then we're going to release, come to a seated position. We're going to take boat pose. So you can either have your legs bent, or if you can straighten them, go ahead and do so. This is our time to really fire up our abs. If you need to release, you can go ahead, bend your knees if you need to. Keep your arms straight out in front. And then see if you can straighten your knees. We're not here for too much longer. And release, placing your feet onto the mat. Your arms out in front. We're going to curl down towards our mat ever so slowly. Taking your time until your head reaches the mat. And we're going to move our heels towards our bums. You can almost touch them with your fingertips, and then send your hips up to the sky for bridge pose. Clasp your fingers, your hands underneath you, squeezing your shoulder blades together as you keep reaching your hips up to the sky, activating your glutes. Breathe, and then slowly release. If you have wheel in your practice, set yourself up for wheel. If you don't, you can take another bridge. Just be mindful that your knees stay hip distance apart when we take our wheel. So place your hands next to your ears, push up with your arm strength and your legs. Imagine you're an upside down U. Nice strong arms. Keep pushing away from your mat. And then when you're ready, slowly with control, lower down ever so gently. We're going to take our knees into our chest and then lift our shoulders off the mat. Your nose touches your knees. And then we're going to place our hands onto the backs of our thighs, and we're going to roll up, giving your back a little massage, and then you're going to roll up into a standing. So come to the top of your mat. Now we're going to work on balance. So you're going to lift your left leg up. Your right leg is nice and strong. As you send your left leg back, imagine you're trying to make a T shape, a capital T. Your hands are in prayer at heart center. Balance your warrior 3. And lower your hands to touch the mat. Take a half split. So tap your foot down and then send your leg back up. Tap your foot down, send it up. Tap your foot to touch your mat, send it up. And then release your hands. Come back into your warrior 3 with control, and then transition your left foot to meet your right. Find stability on your left leg, so your left leg's nice and strong. Come into your warrior 3 with your right leg back, nice and straight, hands at heart center. Working on your balance. Keep looking at one spot in front of you on the floor. Drop your hands down, and then tap your foot down, and then send it up, half split. You can take a little bounce and find your balance again. Bring your hands to your hips as you transition right foot to meet your left. From here, with your feet hip distance apart, inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. Take a slight back bend. Exhale, fold forward, forehead to knees, halfway lift, and then jump or step back to your chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then send your hips back, downward facing dog. Sending your tailbone to the sky, then reaching your right leg up, stacking your hips, and then bring that knee behind your right wrist as if you're setting yourself up for pigeon with your right knee forward. You're going to keep your left back foot tucked because we're going to flow. So you're going to push yourself up, straighten your legs. You're going to feel this in your IT band. So your right foot is on the outside of your left hand, and then we're going to flow back down to our pigeon just for a moment, tapping your forehead to your mat. And then push yourself up, straighten your legs, closing the gap between your chest and your thighs. And then flow back down into your pigeon, arms out in front, forehead to mat, and then push away with your arm strength, nice straight legs. And then set yourself up for pigeon. This time release your back foot, and then lower yourself down. Now square your hips, so you're aiming your left hip towards the mat as you release all the tension in your shoulders and your neck. Just let it go. Try to relax as much as you can. We're not here for long. Few more breaths. Take it nice and easy. Releasing any tension in your back leg. Now press yourself up Tuck your back foot, and then send your right leg up, three-legged dog. And then your right foot meets the left. And then walk your dog to really stretch it out. This should feel really good. Just release it all. Now we're going to take it on the other side. So your left leg goes up, bend your knee so your hips are stacked while keeping your shoulders square. Now bring your left knee towards the back of your left wrist. Keep your back foot up, lower down, pigeon, forehead to mat. And then the transition is quick. We're pressing up, straight legs. Again, your left foot is on the outside of your right hand, so you're on a diagonal. And then gently lower down just for a moment. And then we're lifting ourselves up again, straight legs. Sometimes I like to come up onto the outside edge of my foot. I feel it a little bit deeper when I do that. So play around with it if you prefer to keep your foot flat or if you prefer to come onto the outside edge. So try both and see how you feel. And then we're going to lower down into our pigeon, release your back right foot, set yourself up, and then lower down. Really surrender into your pigeon. Again, aiming your right hip towards the mat. Take a deep breath in and just let everything go. Allow gravity to pull you closer to the earth. No tension in your shoulders, no tension in your hips, no tension in your back leg. Keep your eyes closed and just focus on your breath. We're not here for much longer. So you're going to push yourself up. You're going to send that left leg up to the sky. Nice straight leg. And then come into your downward facing dog. Releasing everything, letting it all go. Walking your dog. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes. Come up into your high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. And then push your hips back up into your downward facing dog. Bend your knees. We're going to take puppy pose. So first your chin will touch the mat, and then see if you can touch your chest to the mat. Straight arms out in front. Keep breathing. I know this is very intense. See if you can inch your arms a little bit more forward, making more contact with your chest, and then you're going to lower your stomach onto the mat. You're going to tuck your elbows into your ribs and then lift your chest up, but release your glutes so you're not tense in your glute. Then lower down, have your hands on the outside of your mat, and then push away, curl up, look up, straight arms. Again, no tension in your glutes. And slowly release back down, forehead onto your mat. And then again, you're going to curl up ever so slowly. Straight arms, feeling this nice back bend. And then slowly lower down. We're going to take a bend in our right knee and grab on to our right foot, aiming to have our heel touch our glute, releasing our right quad. Take a few breaths here and then mindfully release, and then bend your left leg, grabbing on to the top of your left foot with the strength of your arms. You're closing the gap between your left heel and your left glute. Take another few breaths here and then slowly release. You're going to push up into your high plank. You're going to slowly lower down, chaturanga, push up into your upward facing dog, thighs off the mat, and then send your hips back for your downward facing dog. Come back up onto your tippy toes, and then take a nice seat in the center of your mat. And then you're going to spread your legs wide, keeping your knees pointing up to the ceiling, your feet are flexed, and then lift your spine, nice straight spine. Take a big inhale in, reach your arms up to the sky, and then slowly lower down, coming forward. Placing your palms out in front of you, just wiggle from side to side. And then we're going to walk over to the right side for a nice side stretch. See if you can lower your chest onto your thigh, releasing any tension. And then come back up and walk your hands over to the left side. Again, lowering down as much as you can. Just be gentle with yourself. You shouldn't feel any pain. Might be a little bit uncomfortable, but you shouldn't feel pain. Come back to the center and lower down as much as you can. Don't worry where you are today. You might be on your forearms, you might be on the palms of your hands. Maybe one day you will have your belly button flat on the floor. It all comes with practice. Now bring your legs out in front, give them a quick shake. You're going to take a big inhale in, and then reach forward so you can grab on to your heels, the arches of your feet, your toes, your calves, wherever's comfortable for you. Keep imagining your spine nice and straight, and then lower yourself down. Stomach and chest making contact with your legs. A few more breaths here. And slowly come back up. And then take a comfortable cross-legged seat. Wrists on top of your knees. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths here. Just reflect back on your practice and everything we did today. See how your body feels. Hopefully you feel much better now than you did before. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.